help you. Hello. Welcome back to the Lisa Wessan Show, where we explore pathways in transformation, interview holistic healers, interview people who work with holistic healers as we are today. I'm Lisa Wessan, your host, and today we have as our guest Jenna Amara, who is the owner and manager of the Vita Therapia workspace. So thank you for joining us, Jenna.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Lisa.
Pleasure. And Jenna's here because, again, our connection with healing and holistic work. And Jenna supports many of us. I'm one of the people who rent space from her at the center. And it used to be called the Westford Center for Counseling and Holistic Therapy. And I think it still is on some level because there's a sign at the front that says that. But it's also Vita Therapia is like the name on the door now. So tell us, most people have a reason for going into a business. And what was your reason for starting this Vita Therapia office?
So the reason why I started Vita Therapia was I left the corporate world, I implemented software, and I decided I wanted to coach people. I had been talking to many of my coworkers in a coaching kind of setting for a very long time, but I didn't want to do it from my house, and there's a lot of liability reasons. And so I was looking for spaces, and I became almost obsessive about commercial real estate. And I had been following the Westford Counseling Center, which was owned by Edith Griffin, for almost 3 years.
Edith, I know.
She's
fun to work with.
But I had never reached out, and I'd seen her space, but I had never decided to work there. Until one day I saw her post something on Craigslist, and at the very bottom of one of her postings, she was asking for somebody to take it over. And it was like fate to me. And so I immediately was like, yes, I will do it. And it was one of those things where I didn't even think about it. I just knew that's what I wanted to do. And it didn't matter what I was going to have to do to get there.
So it's almost like you had a calling, like
Yes.
it was a passionate calling to facilitate this space.
Yes. And so we met, and it took, almost five months to do. But, got a lawyer, met with her landlord, and then we finally worked on an agreement, and then I took it over almost a year ago that I've had the space. And it's been a really great adventure, getting to know everybody who is there, and taking on that new role, which is something I had never done before. And amazingly, I didn't even really do coaching. This became like my thing.
So I'm just curious, did you check out any other co-working places to see what was out there? I know there are a few of them in the area, and it's funny, my sister Amy, I told you, uses one in Tarrytown for her projects and things, because she, as an art dealer, she didn't want to have an office, but she wanted a place out of her house to go meet clients and do stuff. And so that was when I first heard of the concept, even of co-working space.
Yeah, so I actually did. So I did a lot of research about co-working spaces, and I actually was a member of one, but everything felt so incredibly corporate to me. And just coming from a corporate setting, it felt really
softer.
Yeah, really wrong. And just, it was almost like a little bit of PTSD of having, that kind of corporate atmosphere. I didn't want to bring my clients into that atmosphere.
I agree. I didn't want to work in a place like that either. When I look at office spaces to rent along Littleton Road, we're on 234 Littleton Road here, a lot of corporate space, a lot of office spaces there, and some are just so like brittle. Like I didn't like the vibe, or they didn't have the right windows for me, or they, whatever.
Yeah, so our space is decorated with actual home furnishings that have been registered for commercial use as well. And
beautiful.
I use Wayfair. They're one of my biggest partners.
I love Wayfair stuff. Yeah.
And so I that's the way I decorate. It's very calm furnishings. I don't usually use loud colors. Right. It's all calm and neutral. So.
I know. I've come to appreciate it. Can I say that before you got on the scene, and we didn't know, before I met you, all of us were like buzzing, like, oh no, there's a new owner. You know how people can be a little worried. We were like, what is she going to do? We were afraid you're going to really make it different or change the vibe. We had our concerns, double, triple our rent. Who knows what she's going to do, And you were so not that, And all of us love the decor. It's an upgrade. It's totally an upgrade. I told you I love everything you've done. And let's see some pictures. We have, Peter, can we see the slides from there's one of start with the Westford Center. That's the front of the building. That's where we enter the building, and then go to the rest. Let's see all the other pictures. There's the room number 5, and then there's our conference room. Love the conference room with the TV. It's beautiful, and that's one of the large rooms. Yes, one of the smaller rooms. And what's nice about this place, I think, is when there's some young people starting out, and there's our coffee service. Delicious coffee, by the way. I have to watch myself that I only have like 1 espresso a day.
Yes, so we partnered with Sippy's Espresso Love, which is a local company. It's owned by a woman named Chrissy and her husband. And so I'm all about helping local businesses.
Local people, yeah.
And I mean, who doesn't love coffee, right? So it's something that Vita Therapia pays for, and so all of the members get that included in their membership.
I know, it's a huge benefit, frankly. Like, I can't believe you're not making us put a buck in there or something, you know, it's such a benefit. But it's also nice for the warmth. It feels very homey, like I'm going to my coffee machine, you know, like, well, not exactly the same as my home one, but it's much bigger.
Yes.
And let's see, what I was starting to say, I interrupted myself, what I love is that how people can be starting out, like whether they're a clinical person or a healer type person, and they can get a smaller space for an hour or 2 if they need it, or they can rent a block like 6 hours, like whatever. So tell us, what type of person or business would use the space at Vita Therapia besides what I've just mentioned? Like, who are you looking for?
Yeah, so we're definitely looking, there's different kinds of plans that we have. So there are workspaces, which is technically geared for entrepreneurs, people who like to work in an open group setting. And we have a very flexible rate for that, so it's $100 a month, and you can come use it unlimited.
That's a bargain.
It is a huge bargain.
That's the big space, like where the coffee machine is.
Yep,
like
so they can just come and use it whenever they need to. And then we have another, which is the flexible rate for the offices. So you just buy a bucket of hours, and you just come and book the rooms that you need when you need it. And that's the best value for new businesses who might only see a couple clients a month.
They don't need a space like I do.
Right. And then we have fixed for clients like you who need to have a set schedule so they can schedule clients.
Right, way in advance.
And they know exactly when they need to meet. So if they just need to meet people on the afternoons of Tuesdays and Thursdays, they can do that. Or if they need to upgrade, which I've had people do, they may upgrade to doing all day Tuesdays and Thursdays as their business grows. So we have plans that grow with their businesses until they become full-time, or they graduate from me and they move on to a full-time office. The beauty of Vita Therapia is I don't do deposits, so you don't have to do a first, last, and deposit. And all you pay is your licensing fee, or what everybody calls as rent. So that's the only liability that you have, or the expense that you have in your business.
Beautiful. It's a really equitable system, very democratic. It makes it available to the community, and I love that it has that access to a place to go when you feel like you don't want to work out of your home. Because besides liability, it's like the people coming and going, the energy, in there. All right. So you talk about the packages. There are things that we all love and hate about our work. So tell me the things you love and hate about your work there as the manager of Vita Therapia.
So I really love getting to meet all the different people and being able to provide benefits to everyone. I get to see everybody's business and find ways that I can help support them out there in the community, whether it's helping them find referrals or having programs that help support them. And then finding new people and trying to figure out how to integrate that as well in the community, and figuring out how I can use Vita Therapia as a vehicle to help the community as a whole. So that is something that I really love and cherish, and it's something that really helps kind of on those days where I'm really tired, it makes me work even harder. So I always tell people it's the job that you love so much that you get up at 6 a.m. to go clean the toilets. So like who likes to go clean toilets? But I actually enjoy going. I get up every morning not every morning, but every Sunday I go in and do my deep clean. And so I'm up there cleaning the toilets. And I never had a job where I felt that way before.
Right. And I love the way you're creating community. I mean, Edith was wonderful, but I think when I was there, like I think in 6 years we had one Christmas party or something. I mean, she wasn't really, it's nice, but she wasn't really into it. And I love that these potlucks you're doing. Tell us about the potlucks and the community activities you have, all these interesting things going on.
So,
and I'm sorry I missed the one on Sunday, by the way. I had
that's okay. I did not do a very good job.
I know, I need to
publicizing.
I'm going to talk to you about that offline because I didn't know I wasn't aware of it until I got your email in the morning and it was too late.
Yeah, so I just hired somebody, which I'll announce next week, but she'll be helping me get those out in more timely fashion. I realized that as an individual person, it's hard to do too much. And so balls have been falling because I'm only one person. And as we get bigger, I
don't know how you do it, actually. I know.
Yeah, it's hard to juggle everything, right? So, but potlucks for me are a way for us all to come together and share different things that we love. And people don't have to bring food. It's more to me about building relationships. And when I first took over, I noticed that people would just go to their rooms, not really talk. And I wanted to really foster a community where people would just be excited to see each other and be excited to come and work in the space. And so I wanted to find different ways that we could come and do that. And in meeting with everybody, I noticed that people said they wanted to network, but the trouble was being able to find the time to go out into the community to those networking events because it was hard to take time away from billable hours. So my idea around the mixers was to find ways to bring the community to the members. Right. So I'll be having a lot more of those, of trying to bring more community members into the center so that more of the members can meet the community and the community can see all the services that we offer.
Thank you. So these upcoming programs, I'm aware of some of them. Maybe there's some that I don't know about. Like, what are some of the upcoming programs that are coming? Like in November and December, anything?
Well, the biggest thing is we're going to slowly be doing new programs with this new person I'm bringing on. We're going to be doing a Facebook TV show where we're going to be interviewing local businesses and definitely members. And then one of the things that I really would love to do is support local authors and even authors all over the United States. So I'll be having author series where people can come and do a little workshop. It could even be 20-minute talks for the community, and then they could come, meet them, learn about their books, and then my hope is that they'll end up offering a bigger workshop so that they can provide their services or the knowledge that they have to the community.
Oh, that's brilliant.
So that it's a benefit. We get all this extra knowledge that's out there so we could learn about all this stuff. So those are just a couple of things that I have going on in the
It's wonderful. It's so rich. It's so rich. Where do you see Vita Therapia going in the next 5 years?
So where I see myself, well, the Vita Therapia, I guess we're one and the same. I would love to expand. So we're actually going to be expanding, hopefully, once I sign the lease, into our next space, which is 1E.
1E.
And so it will connect currently we have 2 units, which is 1B and 1D, and they're segregated by this one unit, which is 1E. So we will be going into 1E, and it will connect the 3 of them, and so we'll be able to walk in between. And then it will be about, I think, 8,000 square feet. Which is really huge. I never thought when I took over the space, which we started off with 2,000 square feet, that we would be as big as we are.
I feel like I want to take a moment and just pause and take that in. 8,000 square feet.
I know, right?
I mean, right now, I'm in the new wing, frankly. I moved from the old one. I mean, I love my other space too, but my clients who knew me in the 1B, and now they're coming to, 1D, coming to 1B, they love it. The vibe, the lightness of it. They like the lounge area, the bathrooms even better at some level. It's like, oh, really, they love it. They say they're so pleased. So now, what's 1E going to be like? Are you going to keep upgrading?
Well, it's going to be the same kind of decor, the same paint, the same carpet,
and beautiful.
Yeah,
beautiful.
I always have dreams about the furniture and what it's going to look like. So
When I was preparing for the show, again, there wasn't a book that I needed to read about you, but I noticed that you do spiritual there's a section on Facebook where you have spiritual counseling, coaching. Are you still doing that? Is that part of your work? Is that on hold for now?
It's kind of on hold for now, and one of the things that we'll be doing is integrating more business coaching and different aspects of that into the programming at Vita Therapia, so I'll just integrate it into Vita Therapia. Because I've noticed that a lot of the new businesses that come on board, they need help in that area. So if there's any way that we could help support businesses grow and have a strong foundation, I would love to do that.
All right, tell us about your mentoring process.
So we do have free mentoring at the center, and so you can always come and ask me questions, whether it's, do I have my website set up right, or how can I do scheduling?
I need to book some time.
Yeah, yeah. How can
I'm so not up to speed with those tech things. They're working, but I know they could be better.
Yeah, but I had somebody sit with me and set up the scheduling, so people can just book and pay automatically. So it makes it so much easier. But there's so many different ways that you can do your business and make it work for you instead of you work for your business. But the thought behind mentoring was not just all about me. It was about the community also coming together. There's been a couple of times where there's a few different people in the room, and I might not have the expertise in every single area, but somebody else might have that expertise.
So maybe I missed this. Are you having mentoring meetings, like people get together and mentor each other?
Yeah, anybody can just come together and offer their expertise. And so, it's hard as me, the only person getting the word out there, but we'll be doing more broadcasting this, especially as we grow as a community, and there'll be more people participating. So
I'm just curious, is there a page on your website that talks about mentoring appointments or how to is this organized already? Because I'm not aware of it.
So I think I will be more organized. Lately it's just been, this is the time when we can meet.
Spontaneous, okay.
Yeah, but it will be more organized, and I think I'll ask people to register so that I know that I'm not just blocking off this hour of my time.
Sure.
But yeah, I think it will be a way to really bolster the community, because there's a lot of new therapists, there's a lot of new businesses that are in our center, and I hope that there will be a lot more over the next coming months. So it'll be a good avenue for everyone to come and be able to help each other, or to get the expertise that I've had over the years and the different areas of my life that I can share.
Right. So what is one piece of wisdom you would like to give to a business or somebody who's just starting out about going for their dreams and manifesting their dreams?
So the biggest piece of advice I always love to give people, and I get emotional when I share this, but there's a lot of naysayers out there in the universe and a lot of negative people. And
the haters.
It's amazing. I still get people who tell me that Vita Therapia is going to fail
on
a daily basis. Well, not on a daily
basis.
Not
from us, but people outside.
Outside, yes, maybe on a monthly basis. But they'll see how well I'm doing, and they'll come up with ways that they think that I might fail. And I usually just take that and say, okay, well, that's just something in them that they're sharing with me. And so I always tell people, when people are sharing with you these feelings, don't take it personally. That is their own stuff. Just know that you're meant to do something fabulous, and you need to do it anyways. If you feel a real calling to do something, you need to own that and do it. Because it doesn't matter what anybody else says, that's your purpose.
Right, people come from fear. I remember when I was changing careers, my parents thought I needed to see a psychiatrist, not in a bad way, but that I was not balanced. I was leaving, I was a television producer, and I was going to become a clinical social worker, and I was really into it. I was volunteering at the suicide hotline to test the waters, and my parents thought I was absolutely crazy, and they were yelling at me, and I ended up not talking to them about it anymore. I said, I just can't. Before I got into graduate school, I didn't want to discuss it with them because they were so negative. They were thinking, the biggest mistake of your life. Every time we got together for a dinner or event, they'd yell at me for trying to get into change my career. And it's only been probably the past 10 years where they're very proud of me. They think it's a wonderful thing. But the first, when I was working at this hospital as a clinical social worker, and I was making very little money, maybe 36, I think. It was in Manhattan. My parents said, "How are you going to survive? We're not giving you a nickel. We're not giving you a nickel," because they were afraid they'd end up, having to support me. But you know what? It was like I learned to live on beans and greens, and I got rid of my car. I went out to dinner once a month. I told them, I don't care. I'll have dinner once a month. I don't care. I can eat hard-boiled eggs and V8 for dinner. I don't care. I was so past it. You know, the whole scam of like glamorous life is just nonsense if you don't love what you're doing. So anyway, I can relate to that. The negativity. People come from fear, though, and it's ego-based, and they're afraid they're going to end up taking care of you, maybe, or having to watch you wither. And I tell people too, my favorite thing to say is like your dreams come from God, and God has the power to carry them out. And don't listen to these people. They don't even know what they're talking about. They're coming from fear. Because, we hear this, beating the drum of security and safety.
Yeah.
They want safety, so.
Yeah, well, my in-laws haven't even come to Vita Therapia, and it's been a year. And so,
they're the ones.
Yeah, so it's amazing. They're like, oh yeah, that thing that she's doing, that's costing, them lots of money. And, I always like to say, businesses don't turn a profit, usually new ones, for the first, 1 to 2 years. So I expect that it's going to cost me some money. So I feel very confident and comfortable in that, but not everybody is.
Okay. So thank you for this. Am I getting the signal? We have good 4 minutes. Okay, good. So when we get together as a group, what I love is that I'm getting to know people I've seen in the hallways for like years. Like the last time I went to a potluck, it was really fun talking to the people I used to see walking down the hall or get at the water cooler for 2 seconds, So I do appreciate that camaraderie. Are you having any larger interactions with the community, like the chambers of commerce, so that they're going to be like interacting with us also as a group? Did you join the Chamber of Commerce?
I am a member of the Chamber of Commerce in Merrimack Valley. I will be joining the Westford Business Association, and I just joined the Speaker Sisterhood.
Oh, Speaker Sisterhood.
Yeah, so that's a new organization.
What is that?
Yeah, so it's a group of women who actually work on speaking. So I'll be going out in the community and doing a lot more speaking as well. So yeah, I'm out there in the community meeting new people. I'm also a polka dot powerhouse.
I noticed the polka dot jacket you're wearing today.
Yes, I am.
That polka dot connection. It's great.
So I'm always out networking and meeting people, and I bring a lot of my connections to the center as well. So yes, I'm all about bringing the community inside.
Yeah, that's excellent. When we had Sarah Fletcher visiting at the potluck that I attended, I joined the Westford Business Association after that. I'd never joined it before, I used to be part of the Chamber of Commerce. I'm considering rejoining, but I feel like it's not really my whole thing, because I travel a lot. I do stuff all over the place, and I'm not always in Westford, but I'm in Westford a lot, so excellent. So it's been such a pleasure having you with us today. We're almost out of time. That's how fast this goes. And where do you see Vita Therapia in 5 years?
So I see Vita Therapia actually expanding. So not only offering services for new businesses, but also expanding in locations. So we'll probably look at
franchising,
going out into other locations.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Well, this has been a wonderful segment with Jenna Amara, and we're going to be wrapping up in a moment. So thank you again for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
We'll be to be continued. We'll probably do another show in maybe 6 months or a year, see with new developments. And I'm Lisa Wessan. I am your host, based in Westford. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Peter. It feels very comfortable being here today. And what can I say? Good health is wealth. I hope you all give yourself the time to practice some self-care and get the support you need. There are many, many wonderful people in the community, besides Jenna and myself, who are supporting you in your personal adventure, becoming healthier, stronger, wiser, wealthier, letting go of stress. It's all there for you. Okay, see you next time.